Well, God has led me through some deep and trying valleys in my life, and every time I've entered one, I've always been optimistic that God was still good and the future would be wonderful. But Brett Favre retired this week. And I'm no longer sure. So thank you for all of your loving emails that you sent my way. It is good to know that no matter how badly the Packers may free fall, they can only be the next to last team in the NFL.
Oh.
I didn't say who was last. You just assumed. Oh, Jesus one time told a fascinating story. It's located in the book of Matthew, chapter 21, and he put it like this. He said, "What do you think? There was a man who had 2 sons. He went to the first and said, 'Son, go and work today in the vineyard.' 'I will not,' he answered. But later, he changed his mind, and he went. Then the father went to the other son and said the same thing. And he answered, 'I will go, sir.' But he did not go. Which of the 2 did what his father wanted?" That's a good question. It's an easy question, isn't it? Which of the 2 did what the father wanted? And the people Jesus was talking to said, "The first." Jesus said to them, "You're right, I tell you the truth. The tax collectors and the prostitutes are entering the kingdom of God ahead of you." See, Jesus was simply making a very simple point. And that is that talk is cheap and that what matters is what you do. What pleases God is what you do. What fulfills our purpose in life is what we do. Not what we say, not what we talk about. Because as we all have said, talk is cheap. Sure is. You know, we've spent the last 7 weeks actually talking about the Jesus movement. And we've done so in an effort to learn from the texts of the sacred scriptures, to learn from the original Jesus movement, how it is that you and I are to practice our Christianity in our day and in our times. Because history has proven that the movement of Jesus, the revolution of Jesus, easily gets turned into an institutional religion. And whenever the movement of Jesus becomes merely an institutional religion, it loses its power. And it becomes impotent and hypocritical and actually an obstacle on the path to God rather than a conduit to get connected to God. And so we want to go back to the original Jesus movement and say, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? Because whatever that is, it's what we want to be. See, it would be very easy for us to become merely an institutional religion with the name Christianity slapped in the title. And in our culture, Christian churches and Christian denominations that were once a part of the Jesus movement have simply become an institutional religion. And consequently, many people in our culture, though spiritually sensitive and spiritually interested, have no desire to check out the Christian church when it comes to exploring their spirituality. In fact, it's interesting, last year a book came out. There was basically a study done of people between 19 and 29 years of age to find out what they thought about the church. The name of the book was What a New Generation Really Thinks About Christianity. And here is an outsider's observation of the church in America. They perceive Christianity as anti-homosexual, showing contempt for gays and lesbians, too political, being motivated by a right-wing political agenda, hypocritical, saying one thing but living a different way, insincere, concerned only with collecting converts and not actually interested in others. Sheltered, being boring, unintelligent, and out of touch with reality. And judgmental, being prideful and quick to find fault in others. And I have a question. Who would want to join that? I wouldn't. And yet that's exactly what you get when you get entrenched in institutional religion. We don't want that to happen to us because it could. And so now that we've been talking about the Jesus movement and the revolution Jesus started, and we've gotten a whiff of its smell, and we've gotten a taste of what it's like, and we felt its texture, now it's time for action. And what will we actually do as a church to more fully embrace the spirit of the Jesus movement and to hopefully help ensure for at least our time that we don't drift into an institutional religion? I'm going to spend today, and Lord willing the next Sunday, calling us to make certain changes. I'm going to call on us to create a splash of change that will send spiritual ripples through our church and through our homes, through our community, and through our world. Spiritual ripples that will go down the corridor of time and change not only things in the here and now, but for the next generation as well.